Hi, I'm Susan Johnson, co-owner of Dennings Point Distillery in Beacon, New York. We've been a craft distillery for over 11 years, and in that time we've been creating our own award-winning line of spirits. But beyond our bottles, we've been partnering with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and established companies to create and help them bring their own spirits line to life. And that's called contract distilling. Over the years, we've worked with clients launching everything from gin to brandy to bottled cocktails and complex liqueurs. Some come to us with a completed recipe and some with just an idea. Either way, it's our role to turn that vision into a real market-ready spirit. So what exactly is contract distilling? In its simplest form, it means a client hires us to produce their spirit. That might involve recipe development, blending, bottling, labeling, and shipping. And along the way, we also handle the complex world of compliance, both federal and state. It's really important to clarify what contract distilling isn't. So it's often misconstrued with co-packing. Contract distilling is creating the liquid from start to finish, and then also includes recipe development, production, filtering, the whole process. Co-packing, by contrast, is simply bottling and labeling a finished liquid. It's more packaging than production. And there's also white labeling, which is different again, and that's when a brand buys a pre-made spirit and adds its own label. It's common in whiskey, but it doesn't give you something unique or proprietary the way contract distilling does. So if you're thinking about launching a brand, how do you choose the right contract distillery to work with? There are a few key considerations. The first are capability. Can the distillery competently produce the spirit you want? Do they have the experience in the category? Do they have experience with gin, whiskey, liqueurs, or bottled cocktails, and the technical expertise to handle the specific needs of your product? Second, minimums. Every distillery has minimum order quantities. You'll want to make sure that their runs align with your sales goals and your budget. Third, scalability. It's one thing to make your first batch, and it's another to double or triple production. When demand grows, will this distillery be able to grow with you? That's a very critical point. And finally, communication and trust, which is such a big one. Launching a spirit is not simply one and done. It's a very detailed, long-term process. You'll be in constant communication with your distiller, and you'll want to know that they'll be responsive, transparent, and supportive. A good contract distiller doesn't just make your product. They guide you through the maze of regulations and logistics. Now let's talk about some common pitfalls. The first is choosing on price alone. Expertise matters. If your recipe involves tricky ingredients like sugars, botanicals, or barrel aging, you want a partner who has the skill to get it right. A low-cost option that lacks experience can cost you more in the long run. The second is slipping timelines. This process takes longer and is more complicated than most people expect. Between test runs, formula approvals, label approvals, supply chain delays, and vendor timelines, you'll need patience. So you'll want to work with a distillery that can set expectations, and that will relieve a tremendous amount of stress. So why does this all matter? Because contract distilling is more than just getting liquid into a bottle. It's about creating a partnership that can carry your brand forward. The right distiller isn't just a vendor. They're a part of your brand's DNA. That's why I always encourage clients to think long-term. Don't view your first batch as a one-off transaction. Think of it as the start of a strategic alliance. You want someone who can help you not just launch, but expand into new states, scale production, and grow your brand's presence. And finally, choose someone whose personality and ethos align with your own. This industry is complex, highly regulated, and often unpredictable. Having a distillery that you trust and genuinely like working with makes all the difference. At Dennings Point Distillery, we've seen firsthand how the right partnership can turn an idea into a thriving brand, and that's what makes contract distilling so rewarding, helping other people's vision take shape and succeed in the marketplace.